Hello everyone, in today's video I am back for the first cash stuffing of 2024. So this is going to be the very first cash stuffing of the entire year. If you guys have not seen my previous videos, I have several, which is why this video is coming out so late. Thank y'all for your patience, by the way. But I do have the video where I count my savings challenges that I just uploaded. If you want to check that out, I'll link in the icon above. I also have the bill swapping cash unstuffing for December and the final cash stuffing of December as well. Those are all up on my channel if you want to check those out. I had a great time filming that video where I counted my savings challenges. So lots of good things happening. In today's video, we are stuffing a total of $1,250. Now, I would go over my daily income, but if you guys have followed me for the past month or so, you know that this income is coming from money that I had already set aside before I went on my Paris and London trip. So I have part of that money. It was $2,000 that I had set aside before I left. Part of that is going into this week's cash stuffing. The rest of it, the remaining $750 is going into next week's cash stuffing. So let's go ahead and get this money counted. We will get organized and we'll get started. Alrighty, y'all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 70, 95, 10, 30, 50, 70, 96, 10, 30, 50, 70, 97, 10, 30, 50, 70, 98, 10, 30, 50, 70, 90, 9, 10, 30, 50, 70, 90, 1010, 30, 50, 70, 90, 11, 10, 30, 50, 70, 80, 90, 1200, 10, 25, 35, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. $1,250. Get this organized for you guys. Now I am back from my trip for my sister's birthday. We ended up going to London. We went to Paris, and it was really fun. It was really cold, and I did not pack properly. Before I left, it said it was going to be like in the 40s, so I thought that what I had packed was appropriate, but it ended up getting very cold there. In Paris, it actually snowed while we were there, so it was in the 20s, and I was not prepared for that. I will say that my favorite things were, we had afternoon tea one time in London, which was so cool. They had like little finger sandwiches and snacks. That was probably one of my favorite things there. And then we went and saw a show in Paris. We saw Moulin Rouge, which was very cool. The kids were allowed in that show, which I personally wouldn't take my son to that, but I mean, honestly, to each their own. It was a really cool show. They had fantastic acrobatics, and it was just really cool to watch. But I will talk more about my trip as we get along. Let me go ahead and get it started though. So going into bills, now you'll see that all of my envelopes have so far stayed the same. That might change moving forward. I did tell you guys that I'm going to be changing these two here. My insurances, my health insurance, and my dental insurance, they're going to get combined eventually. I am looking for some savings challenges. I did get some of y'all's recommendations on my previous video, so if you have any of those, please drop them down below. I will be rolling over a few of the other ones. So $1 challenge, $5 challenge. My emergency fund challenge is also rolling over, as well as my Saveopoly. But I am looking for a new one this year, maybe even a couple of new ones this year. So some of these might change. Bills is staying the same, though. I have the same bills that I had last year. So in rent, we are throwing $300 into this envelope. One of my goals last year was to get a month ahead in my envelopes. In my bills envelopes. I wanted to get a month ahead, and I was able to do so last year. So this year's new goal, 20, 40, 60, 81, is to get 3 months ahead in all my envelopes. So 1, 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300 going into rent. That brings rent now to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 40, 60, 86. $1,600 now in rent. In subscriptions, I'm putting $10 in here. So let's do a 20. Pop that 10 back up there. Subscriptions now has $125. In cell phone, I'm putting $25. So let's do a 20 and a 5. Now in cell phone is 1, 2, 50, 75. So 275 now in cell phone. Electric is getting $35. Y'all, right now, so whenever I was gone here in Texas, it was in the 60s, almost the 70s, and it was beautiful weather. And I come back and I get one day of that. And right now in Texas, we are having a really, not too severe, but a pretty bad winter storm. It is in the teens here. So like 19 and the 20s is our high. And I think I brought back the cold weather. Don't appreciate that, but it's very, very cold here. So I'm hoping my electric bill doesn't go up too high because we are having to run the heater in our house. I'm putting $35 in here. So let's do 40 instead. So 20 and 40. Electric now has 1, 2, 20, 40, 60. So 260 now in this envelope. Childcare is getting $75. So let's do 85 maybe? 75. Yeah, let's do 85 instead. So 4 20s and a $5 bill. 20, 40, 60, 85. That brings childcare now to 1, 2, 3, 20, 40, 60, 80, 405. Next is internet, and it is getting 10. So I'm going to throw this 10 back up here and grab a 20. That brings internet now to $125. Next is dental insurance, and it is getting $5. So let's do a 10 instead. And that brings dental insurance to 20, 40, and 50. Health insurance is getting 10. So let's see if I have a $10 bill. I don't, but I'm going to pop one in there now. That brings health insurance to 51, 20, 40, 50. So 150 now in this envelope. And then lastly in this binder is investing. Now, before the new year, I was putting all the money that I had in investing towards trips that I was going on. That is changing though, because I am actually putting this towards paying off anything that comes up in our future, any kind of debts or anything that I actually want to invest in. So this envelope is actually going to get used for what it says it is. Going into investing this week is $250. So I'm going to do 1 and then 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, and a 10. And I'm just going to double count that. I'm really bad. I was actually looking up flights to New York earlier, and my boyfriend and I were laying in bed, and I was like searching flights for New York, and I was telling him about it, and he was like, "Come on, like you said you weren't going to go on any more trips," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to stop myself because it's so easy for me just to start planning stuff." But we do have one trip planned this year. My best friend, my sister, and I are taking our significant others, and we are going to Orlando at the end of the year probably, and we're going to go to Universal again. We did that last year and it was so much fun, so we're going to be doing that this year. And then going into 2025, I will be planning a trip to Tokyo where I take my son to Japan. So those are 2 trips that I do need to put away for it this year. But that's it. I should not be doing any more trips. We will see, but I need to slow my roll because this year is about saving. Let's see, and now in investing, we have 1, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 50, 250 again in here. And then, of course, my income envelope where I have that $750 plus what I made this past week. So $720 went into bills. Let's move on to cash envelopes. We have $530 remaining. So in gas, in order to fund this to $30, I just need to add a $10 bill. So I'm going to pop this 20 out and just add a 10, and that brings gas now to $30. Up next is groceries, and I'm going to put $80 in here. I don't have a ton of small bills, so I think I'm just going to do 420s. I would love to have put some smaller notes in there, but I need them later. So 80 going into groceries. And as I mentioned earlier, I am rolling over my $1, $5 challenge. So we have a few ones in here that I need to set aside. Let me count them. We have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 going into my $1 challenge, which again, if you guys have not seen that video where I count my challenges, it is available. I didn't save as much as I wanted to in those challenges. So this year I'm going to try to be much better about that. I'm going to put these off to the side. In spending, I'm going to add $40. So let's do 2 20s. And then in date night, I am putting $25. So let's do a 20 and a 5. So 20, 5. Date night now has 20, 40, 60, 75. So $75 now in here. I will say I missed my boyfriend and my son so much whenever I was gone. It's really hard being away from them. I just love being at home with them. So that was tough, but my sister and I did get a lot of quality time. Unfortunately, I got sick while I was there in London. I ended up getting a cough, and then my sister, she just recently got sick. So that really sucked, but other than that, we got a lot of bonding time while we were there. In ties, I'm going to go ahead and throw $10. So I'm just going to pop a $10 bill in here. And then before I close this out, let me throw these 5s in my $1 challenge. So a total of $165 went into cash envelopes, which leaves $365 remaining. Of course, I'm going to roll over my Saveopoly challenge. So let me go ahead and do that first. And last year, so perfect. We ended off on go. So we are starting off very fresh with the beginning of the board. And I have $50 allocated to go to my Saveopoly challenge. So we should be able to cover any spot that we land on. Let me go ahead and erase my heart here. My little mark. And then let's roll and see what we put away this week. So going into Saveopoly is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is save $7. Let me just mark that. I'm going to put $7 in here. And then I need to figure out where to put the remaining $43. So 5, 6, 7, starting off this new year in my Saveopoly challenge. Alrighty, I'm going to write that I put $7 in here. And then really quickly, let me figure out where to put the remaining $43 and I'll be right back. Alrighty, y'all. So I did allocate the remaining amount and we're going to go ahead and stay in my long-term sinking fund binder. Now I'm going to have to start funding those envelopes that I put on hold at the end of last year. That includes my annual fee envelope. This is for my credit card. It's $95 a year. I'm going to go ahead and throw $9 in here. So we'll do 5 and then 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one now has $9. And then I threw some money in several of these other envelopes. So I don't know why my lamp keeps going off. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But I'm going to skip over these. Getting into new car, I put $5 in here. And I don't know what I'm going to do about this because I don't have change. I think what I'll do is I'm going to skip these for now. I did just do that unstuffing and bill swap, so a lot of these don't have small bills in them. And I am going to go into my emergency fund envelope and hopefully I can grab some 5s out of the last 2. But in emergency fund, again, I did roll over that challenge from last year. So instead of $23 a week going into this envelope, I'm putting $24 a week for 2024. So grabbing a 20, this should be 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this one now has $24 in it. Now, if you're following this challenge with me, you should save almost $1,250 this year. I think it's $1,248 or something like that. And I did notice that some of y'all were following along with me. So I cannot wait to save with you guys. $24 so far in this envelope. Next in my Roth, I'm putting $125. So let's do 1, 20, and then this 5. Roth now has 1, 2, 3, 4,000, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5,000, 25. So $5,025 now my Roth, which means that in my bill swap and cash unstuffing, I will be able to put a $1,000 placeholder. Now this one I have until April to fund. That's why this one isn't started over yet, because I do have until after tax season to finish this one or to max it out. Up next is my son's envelope, which I do roll over every year. And it's getting 25, but I don't have that. So what I'm going to do really quickly, actually, to finish off this binder is I'm going to make some change for myself, and I'll be right back. Okay, I hope that does it. So let's finish off my son's envelope really quickly. I'm going to put $25 in here, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning and finish off those other envelopes I didn't get to. So a 20 and a 5 going in here. That brings his envelope to 1, 2, 3,000, 5, 6, 25. So $3,625 is now in his envelope. And then going back to new car, I'm going to go ahead and pop $5 in here. So this envelope now has 205. In new home, same thing. I'm going to throw 5 in here. And it now has 205. Let's see, wedding. Let's see what it has in it after I add this $5 bill. 1, 2, 3, 55. So $355 in wedding. And then we are putting $25 into our baby envelope this week. So we'll do a 20 and a 5. I'm hoping that's enough because I can get some more, but hopefully that's enough 5s. Okay, and baby is 1, 2, 3, 50, 75. So $375 now in baby, and that does finish out my long-term sinking fund binder. Let's go ahead and get into my short-term sinking fund binder. It's a good thing that I had a leftover amount down here because I completely forgot that I needed to start stuffing Christmas again. And now that I'm funding it for this current year. So $25 going into Christmas, and that does take my last 5. I hope I have enough. So 20 and a 5, so 25 now in Christmas. Skipping over the next few, so y'all, if you had been watching me, you know that I had saved $2,000 of spending money to go towards spending while I was gone. Now, I ended up doing really, really well, and I only spent half of that. So there is still $1,000 in vacation. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $1,000 in vacation. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this money. I'm assuming I'm just going to leave it in here and use it for the future trips that I mentioned earlier, but that is what I have in vacation now, which is why it's not getting stuffed. And again, I'm trying really hard not to go on vacation this year and instead save. So anyway, I did have leftover from that trip. We did a really great job. A lot of the things that we spent money on were pretty inexpensive. We really just spent money on food. We did go to the Tower Bridge in London. We got to go up and do that and do like the skywalk, which was really cool. We went to the Arc de Triomphe in France, which was really cool. We visited the Eiffel Tower and we got to go up and do that as well. But most of it was just kind of spent on food, honestly. We did food, we did some souvenirs, and but yeah, I think I'm really proud of myself for bringing back as much money as I did, so that'll go towards future endeavors. Skipping over clothing, birthdays. Now I'm really wanting to put as much in this as possible because my son's birthday is in a couple of weeks, so we want to plan a party for him. Luckily, I have a good amount here, so 35. I'm gonna do 40 instead. Do I have, let's see, 20, 30, 40. And that brings birthdays now to 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 2, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So 250 now in birthdays. I think we're going to end up doing like a house party, to be honest, which may not take as much money as I think, but he likes gaming with his friends. So we figured we'd have them over. If they could game together, we'll do some cake, some ice cream, maybe have some games that they can play. But if not, we have this place here near us that it's like an arcade type deal, so we might do that instead. But we haven't really narrowed down, and I really need to because it's in a couple of weeks. That's what that's going to go towards. And next is going to be my car insurance. So skipping over these envelopes, skipping over registration, car insurance is going to get that $50 bill. Now in car insurance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,051. So 1,100 now in car insurance, and this will go towards that future policy, which is coming up very soon. I actually will be depleting this very, very shortly to pay for that next 6-month policy that I have for my vehicles. Lastly is sports and clubs. This money goes towards my son's karate, so that should be $25 up there. 10, 20, and 5. Perfect. That brings sports and clubs now to 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 10, 15, 20. So 120 now in sports and clubs. Alrighty, y'all, that does it for today's cash stuffing. Now I will be looking into, again, some new challenges. I might do the mystery challenge again because that one was really fun, or some type of scratch challenge. I'm going to get on Etsy after I complete this video and check those out. Again, if you have any recommendations, please drop them down below if you want to see me do any specific challenges or anything. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Stay tuned for next week's cash stuffing. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you in a future video. Bye.